Thank you for clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more video. I know it's been a very, very long time since I uploaded something, but I just finished watching a movie, and I don't know, there's something about the movie I just watched. I wanted to review. So here I am, back again. Maybe I'll do this a little more often. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I have time in life to make this a regular thing, but maybe I'll do it a little more often. So I just finished watching Smokey and the Bandit 2. I watched Smokey and the Bandit earlier this week on Monday, and I don't know, I decided today that I'd never seen Smokey and the Bandit 2. Not own, I own the triple pack Blu-ray, which is Smokey and the Bandit, and its two sequels. So I decided, screw it, I'm gonna watch Smokey and the Bandit 2. Two, not four, two, two. I watched Smokey and the Bandit 2, just to see what it was. Maybe I'll watch Smokey and the Bandit 3, not tonight, maybe sometime in the near future, and maybe I'll do a review of that too. So Smokey and the Bandit 2. Um, I guess I'll start with a quick review of Smokey and the Bandit. I enjoy that movie. It's not one I go back to over and over and over and over and over again. Like once every couple of years, I want to watch me some Smokey and the Bandit. I get Eastbound and Down stuck in my head, and then I got to watch Burt Reynolds drive a Trans Am. Um, it's a really fun movie. Like it's shot really well. Um, Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason, Sally Fields, and Jerry Reed all do great jobs in their roles. Um, And it's a lot of fun. It's a real fun movie. With some great chase scenes and just some cool moments. So fast forward 3 years, and they make Smokey and the Bandit 2. They get everyone back to do this movie. It's still being directed by Hal Needham. Reynolds is here, Gleason is here, Reed is here, Fields is here, and you get Dom DeLuise. So what could go wrong? Plot. Number one is plot. Plot goes wrong. I feel like this movie is missing scenes. I've noticed that with a couple of movies I've watched that I feel like there's missing scenes, or information as to why something is the way it is. So in the first movie, they're transporting Coors, which at the time, because Coors couldn't be refrigerated in transit, and the way it's made it bootlegging. You couldn't transport it because it would probably go bad if you followed speed limits. So, the bandit and the snowman are sent to bring the cores, and they're given a time frame to make sure it doesn't go bad, meaning they have to speed. So this is a sensible plot. Not a great plot, but it's a sensible plot for fun. Smokey and the Bandit 2, the same people that hired Bandit and Snowman to go get the beer, are now hiring them to get a random box because they are running for the governor. I think it's governor. They're running for governor, and the current governor isn't giving anyone their blessing, even though they're leaving office. They're not running for re-election, and they decide that getting the governor this box to the Democratic convention. I might be regretting that I said Democratic when I get to what's in the box. Uh, but anyways, that he'll take it. That he'll get to the convention. So he goes and he hires Bandit and Snowman. Bandit is now a drunk, which you think it's because Sally Field left him. There's apparently more to it, but it takes an hour and 10 minutes to get to it. Which seems really weird. Like, why? I don't know why it takes an hour and 10 minutes to get to what the real cause of why Bandit is a dirty drunk at the start of this movie. Because it's not Sally Field. That's part of it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, but the camel was still there. There was still a camel. That's why its back got broken. Um, so, there's still a bunch of other crap on this camel's back. The camel was already breaking. She was just the straw that broke its back. Apparently, he got real famous and well known after the Coors event, which was weird that they made like it's after that, but he was already pretty well known. Like that entire movie was people helping him avoid cops. And this one that's way less. Bandit fandom is way less, um, which seemed weird. Then they finally got, an hour and 10 minutes into this movie, finally went, it's because he let the fame go to his head and he lost it all. He lost all his fame. And now he's just another dude. He's still recognized, but it's fleeting, which is, that seems like a great plot point, like 10 minutes into the movie, not an hour and 10 minutes into the movie. Um, if you were going to do, it's because Frog left him, that's fine, then that needs to be the thing, and the only thing. You don't bring in more stuff so far into this movie. Also, the way that Buford T. Justice, uh, wow, I just hit the actor's name popped right out of my head. I'm gonna. This is why we have the internet. I mean, that, and if you listen to Avenue Q, the internet's for other things as well. But we're just gonna focus on using it to learn who's in movies. Jackie Gleason, which is funny because I haven't even gotten to his name in the credits, and it just popped into my head as I was scrolling through. So Jackie Gleason is back, and he has his son with him again. Now, in the first movie, they're chasing Bandit because he picked up Sally Field, and Sally Field was supposed to marry Buford's son, and he thinks Bandit's kidnapped her, and he wants to get her back for his son, so he's chasing after them through all these states. So in this one, Sally Field is going to marry the son again, but for some reason, there's a phone in the chapel of a church. Not like in an office, literally sitting off to the side of where the altar is. And it rings, and it's Snowman telling her Bandit needs her, and she needs to go help him. Which I'll get to the urgency of what they're doing after I'm done with it. So she goes, tells Buford straight up, I'm going to help Bandit again. What makes it sound like she's gonna come back to marry Junior. And she jumps in a car and drives away. And Buford is basically fine with all of this. He doesn't chase her. He doesn't do anything, because if he did any of that, this movie wouldn't happen. Because the urgency of this movie isn't there. So, because the governor won't give anyone their blessing, Big Enos, who is running for governor, decides to hire Snowman and Bandit to pick up a box and take it to the convention. The convention is in 9 days. They have to go from Florida to Texas in 9 days, which is more than enough time to get from Florida to Texas in 9 days, except they miss certain elements of the urgency of what's going on. Like the fact that nobody asks what's in the box. Nobody asks. Like, no one is Brad Pitt from Seven in this movie. Nobody asks what's in the box. Until we get to the reveal of what's in the box, because it's funny, ha ha ha. Except Big Enos overhears that there's a box. He's not asked to get the box. He's not told if he gets the box, he'll get the endorsement. He's not told these things. He's just listening to the governor yell at a dude to get the box there. But they're also missing the key plot element that the box can't go there. Because the box is in quarantine for 3 weeks. The box can't go there, but that is missing from the governor on the phone. Like, you should have had Big Enos and his son hear the argument. Oh, the box! Oh, it needs to get there. Someone needs to get it there so it can be a gift at the convention, and I'll be happy. And then they walk away, and then he is told it is quarantined for 3 weeks. Because why he wouldn't have just hired his own service makes no sense. All right, so they have 9 days, more than enough time. And instead of like putting stakes on this, because the course delivery, they had to do it in, I think it was 28 hours, 40 hours? It was just somewhere, it's more than a day, less than 2 days. I know is what they had. So there's actually like stakes at play here with time. They have to move fast. They have to keep going. This one, you have 9 days. Oh, that's nothing. So they waste the first 5 days getting Bandit in shape in an exercise montage to drive the Trans Am. So it's like, why are we wasting 5 days? Get a different driver. It's not like it's gonna take 9 days to drive from Miami to Texas. Drive to Miami and then from Miami to Texas. You can do this in less than 9 days. You probably really have to speed. So the whole idea of needing the blocker in this scenario doesn't quite work. Then they finally get there. They learn the box is in quarantine. The same time we as the audience learns this, we should have already known it. So they break in and they steal the box. They don't steal the box, they only take the contents of the box. They leave the box, take what's in the box, and what's in the box is an elephant. Inside the box is a freaking elephant. So now it's become a we're transporting animal movie, which those movies never work. The movies, and it's always elephants. Why must we transport elephants in weird ways? Like, I know if you look back on this channel, maybe, I know, no, I don't think I was doing reviews when I watched Operation Dumbo Drop. I don't think there's a review for that one on here. Um, Maybe there is. It might just be a quick like, yeah, Operation Dumbo Drop, and then I toss it off to the side. But yeah, why do we transport elephants in such weird ways? Why was that a thing in movies in the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Like, can't we just let elephants be? So they put the elephant into the truck, which I ask weight restrictions. Like, is this elephant, is the truck able to haul the weight of the elephant? Like, what is this thing graded at? Um, but it's fine, and they drive off with the elephant. And they immediately know it's a female elephant. Again, I don't know how three random yahoos could tell the difference between a male elephant and a female elephant. None of them go to look to see if there's anything down there, which would be the obvious answer to that. None of them looks. They just go, it's a girl, and they're staring at it head on. It's like, there's no way you just know it's a female elephant. So they load the elephant in the back of the truck. The truck goes, Bandit goes, and for some reason, Buford T. Justice knew where they were. No idea. No idea how he knew they were in Florida. How he knew. Yeah, how he knew they were in Florida. None whatsoever. Just blocking their path from leaving this warehouse, where technically they committed a crime, but he, as one cop out of his jurisdiction, no matter how you look at this, he is not in his county. His county is in Texas. Um, his county is Texarkana. We learned that in the first movie. So he has no jurisdiction, and technically he has no way of knowing they've actually done anything illegal. He just wants to catch Bandit. But this is something he just decided to do. It's not because of his son's fiance who ran away for a second time. It's not because Bandit like called him and like ha 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 maki maki. He just shows up and is chasing them for the rest of this movie. And don't get me wrong, Jackie Gleason does a dang good job with everything he's given in this movie. He is a highlight. There are some really funny lines throughout this movie. Don't get me wrong. But he is not necessary at all. He is there to try to give stakes to this. But they still have 4 days. They don't need stakes. So they drive off, and then to continue to add stakes, they pick up Dom DeLuise, who is a Italian doctor, but he's not a doctor because he's not licensed yet, but he's a doctor. And for some reason, he's gonna. The elephant is sick. If they know the elephant is sick, saying they're like, oh, the elephant's not eating. In fact, they never actually like explain how they're feeding the elephant or cleaning up after it because the trailer always looks very clean. Elephants poop. Elephants poop a lot. When they're in parades, people follow them with shovels to clean it up because it's a lot. The trailer is clean. They don't explain these things, but they know it's sick, so they get a doctor. But it's not a vet. It's just an Italian dude who is a doctor in Italy, who eventually diagnoses because this was obvious. The minute they like, we have an elephant. It's a girl. I'm like, pregnant. And then yeah, Dom DeLuise comes through and goes, it's pregnant. And I'm like, well, duh, we knew this. Like, we know it's pregnant. It has to be pregnant. If it's not pregnant, what's the point? Which is how this movie ends. Is what's the point? So it's basically them driving this elephant to Texas with no stakes whatsoever. being chased by Jackie Gleason and making way too many stops because they just didn't want another movie in Cars. And yeah, it just keeps going until you get to the end where the elephant has her baby. It's like, oh shucks. And Sally Fields leaves Burt Reynolds again. And then he has his epiphany. And I was watching this movie and I'm not 100% sure the epiphany moment was really there. Like, there was something there. I'm not sure it was the epiphany moment, but it was there. Where he decides he doesn't need to finish this run for fame and fortune. And $40,000. If there's 4,000 or four, it had to have been 40,000. $40,000. No, he doesn't need an assload of money or his good name back. So they're just not going to finish the run because the elephant can't travel, but it is definitely traveling at the end of this movie. I don't know. So basically the entire plot point of needing to get this elephant somewhere is just completely nullified. Buford T. Justice makes no sense in this movie. There are no stakes. Like, there are some good jokes, but there's so little plot to pull you through this movie that the jokes don't matter. Um, and you're just wondering what the hell the entire time. Just because that's what it is. I don't want to say it's a bad sequel because they did try to not be the original. They tried to not just do the original while still trying to do elements of the original. Um, but it's just not that good of a sequel. And I don't know. I don't know what I even think of Smokey and the Bandit 3. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I want to see it. Smokey and the Bandit, great movie. Smokey and the Bandit 2, you can pass. There's nothing there that is necessary to be seen. All right. I'm Martin Prevost. Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. Have a good one.